Wow, that was an abrupt end to the music. I need to time that a little better. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unknown Comics Podcast. I'm Brandon.
I'm Tanner.
And it's just us again. We're all alone.
Holding down the fort.
Yep. So thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Hope everybody is having a great evening. If you're not watching us live, you're watching us on YouTube. Thank you for watching us and
listening.
And listening. If you do want to join us live, you can join us every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Central at twitch.tv/unknowncomicbooks, and we do this live, so you can talk to us live and chat with us and get in our discussions and all that good stuff right here, 7 p.m. Central, twitch.tv/unknowncomicbooks. And for those listening to us live, we got a bunch of fun stuff to chat about tonight. So let's dive right into it there, Tannerino.
All right, let's do this.
This morning, I'm awakening to news that Marvel's The Eternals is setting records. Only not records that it would want to be setting. Yeah. It officially, as of right now, of course, it's still early on. There's a bunch of critic reviews that haven't come in yet. They haven't opened it up to personal reviews and stuff like that. It currently holds the lowest tomato score of any MCU feature film. Now, that's not of anything that is adjacent to MCU, like Iron Fist or,
the old Hulk, maybe.
Well, no, like Inhumans. Things that are still technically part of the MCU, but were like other TV series on other networks. But as far as feature films go, this has a 63 right now on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, do with reviews what you will.
I'll wait to see it. I find that I typically, if critics think it's bad, I usually think it's good.
I typically agree with that. What I did, I got curious. I was in the waiting room, and I just kind of started I saw the tomato scores and kind of was like, does that fall in line with my ranking? And for the most part, it does. There were some deviations where the tomato score for Iron Man 3 is higher than Iron Man 2. I don't think so. I like 2 way more than 3. So yeah, there is that. It's just a guideline. But I kind of said this in our chat. My expectations for this movie are incredibly low.
That's kind of where I'm at.
It kind of was. I would say it wasn't like that for Guardians. It was before I saw the first Guardians trailer.
Once that first trailer for Guardians dropped, I was all about it.
Exactly. Eternals still hasn't grabbed me even through preview trailers. Just from trailers alone, there's just not a lot of personality in it.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as I know, no one reads the Eternals. They are now. You correct me if I'm wrong, but they're Kirby's creation.
They are Kirby. So Kirby left Marvel to go to DC,
right?
Where he made the New Gods,
and then the Eternals are the New Gods in the Marvel
He came
universe.
back to Marvel and created the Eternals, which are pretty much the exact same storyline.
And even as a diehard DC fanboy, I'm not even that big of a fan of the New Gods.
Yeah, and they got Starlin brought them, kind of took him and kind of merged it with his Thanos storylines. He made Thanos an Eternal as well, so it's part of that, and it would serve to reason that they're still going to be very, very close and attached. Yes, Jay Manning, Iron Man 3 was trash, for sure. So, like I said, my expectations are really low, so at this point, I can only be surprised.
Right.
But just from trailers alone, there's really not been anything that's just wowed me.
Or to that matter, there hasn't been anything that just says to me, how is this actually important to the overall MCU?
Yeah. And I'm sure it's in there, right? And we just have to go watch and find out. So we'll know next week.
Yes,
next week. So yeah, that was the first piece of news. Second piece of news, we got this yesterday, the day before. I can't remember. We knew it. I know you haven't seen it yet, but Dune did get picked up by Legendary Pictures for its part 2. For those that don't know, Dune is a 2-part film.
I would have been so disappointed had they not.
I can't imagine that they would have gone down the rabbit hole without. But, I mean,
I mean, it happens every now and then. It doesn't make as much money as they think it should have.
And like I said, the pandemic, it was supposed to come out. It was in post, pre-pandemic, and they made this movie in 2019, and it's just now getting released. The part 2 is not set for release till 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So
October
2023. So it's like Star Wars, the prequel trilogy all over again, where I'm waiting 3 years in between movies. Yeah, I kind of just guessed it was going to happen. There was no way they were going to leave that. Doing quite well. The movie is doing quite well, considering that they're still doing day one release on HBO Max.
Yeah.
So it's like it bears to mind like what happened with Black Widow then. If HBO Max can do really good box office, if Warner can do really good box office, but still simulcast it on their streaming service, that's what we thought. That's why we thought Shang-Chi did so well, right? They didn't do the simultaneous release on Disney Plus. Maybe Shang-Chi is just that much of a better of a movie.
I thought Shang-Chi was fantastic. I mean, it's in my top Marvel movies.
Yeah.
I thought Black Widow was okay, and I think Black Widow suffers a little bit the same that Wonder Woman did. It got pushed back too many times that the hype started to fall off.
Yeah. I think part of it too is I also wonder if Black Widow just wasn't as popular because it didn't really push the MCU narrative.
And that could be a part of it too.
I mean, whole lot.
Yeah, we had one post-credit scene that might push it.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was straight up just a prequel.
It was a bridge.
We introduced some characters that we might see again sometime, but they're not necessarily characters that are essential to any plots that are going on right now.
Right. You do have to pay more. Plus, it's up on Disney, but even still, like, I don't know.
Well, and honestly, I wouldn't. If anything, I would think the simultaneous release should just make the movie more money, because a lot of people, if they're going to see it in theaters, they're going to see it in theaters.
Yeah, that was my whole thing with Dune. That was the whole reason we went to the theater we did, because it was going to be on the big screen, and it's an epic movie that needed an epic screen.
And I think there are a lot of people that feel that way, and so just doing the simultaneous release is catching those people that weren't going to go to the theater.
Yeah. And then I've since I've seen it in the theater, I've watched it twice at home. Would I have gone back to the theater to watch it again? I don't know. I'm not normally one of those people that sees a movie in theaters multiple times.
It has to be a pretty good movie for me to go see.
Yeah, it's like Force Awakens I saw 2 or 3 times. Rogue One I think I saw a couple of times. I think Rogue One was probably the last movie I saw. Well, I take that back. I would see stuff multiple times because like I'd go with y'all to see a movie, and then like me and my daughter and my wife would go later. Those were the kind of, I was going back because I was going with a different group. Right. Very rarely was I going back with either same people or by myself just to watch it.
Right.
For a second watch through. So Dune's getting a part 2. And then kind of shifting. Well, no, we're still in film world. John Watts, the director of Spider-Man No Way Home, has been quoted as saying that he is calling this Spider-Man Endgame, which a couple weeks ago we talked about Tom Holland. Mm-hmm. People asking him if he reprised the character. He's like, yes, if I would do it, but tonally it's going to be a different character. Something dramatic is happening at the end of this film.
Yeah, like you said, we've talked about that a little bit the past couple shows. I mean, obviously something big is going to happen.
Yeah, and I mean it's in the title. It's baked in. No Way Home. Like this is point of no return for the franchise to see where it goes. I'm trying to figure out what that is. What that snap moment is. What that huge tragedy and break in reality is.
I'm trying not to think about it too hard so I don't get it set in my brain like this is how I want it to happen and then be disappointed.
Right. Yeah. Is Tom Holland, Peter Parker going to get stuck in a different reality or vice versa? Or is one of the other Peter Parkers or a brand new one. Why not have a fourth Peter Parker? Why not? Let's just go for it.
Oprah's just handing out Peter Parkers.
And you get a Parker, and you get a Parker, and Chris Pine, and because let's see, yeah, I mean if you count into the Spider-Verse, so many Peter Parkers,
Yeah.
so many Peter Parkers, and then so we get news that the Ahsoka TV series coming to Disney Plus has added another cast member in Hayden Christensen. So thinking about that, we have to kind of break down where this is, right? Ahsoka is a post Return of the Jedi series. So this is Ghost Anakin?
It's either Ghost Anakin or Flashback Anakin.
Yeah. Okay, flashback. Yeah, I could see that. My thing with is, so are they going to cast a younger Ahsoka? Because...
I mean, paying attention to that will tell us whether it's going to be Flashback or Ghost Anakin for sure.
Ben Parker. Tanner wants Ben Reilly.
Yeah, I do want Ben Reilly.
Yeah. So what were we saying? I'm sorry. I got distracted by chat.
So watching the castings, if it's going to tell us whether it's going to be a flashback or a Force
if
Ghost.
they cast like a young Ahsoka, then yeah, it's definitely going to be a flashback. But I mean, we've already seen Force Ghost Anakin. Don't get me started on that. Why don't we see Force Ghost Ewan McGregor in return? Why didn't he just change both of them? Like, be consistent, Lucas. See, there I am, just like Darren smacking the desk, going through the mic. My guess is he's coming as a ghost, right?
And honestly, that's what I would like to see. I'd like to see Ahsoka and Anakin get some closure.
Yeah. No, because the last closure they had was, fighting inside of a Jedi temple and Ahsoka kind of dying, but not really dying. Mm-hmm. Going into some kind of weird nether realm and getting pulled out by, and that's right. Yeah. I'm trying to remember Rebels. It's been a minute since I watched it, but yeah. So we were talking earlier, Tanner. Lots of books getting pushed back.
Yeah, a lot of books.
And so, what do we think is causing a lot of these books to go right now?
My only real guess is paper shortages. Yeah. Venom's been moved back to next week. Hulk's been moved back to the end of the month. Black Panther's moved again. I mean, it was supposed to come out in June.
Yeah.
I mean, every week I pull my order on. I print it off Tuesday night so I can pull it right when I get here on Wednesday because I got to read stuff so me and Chris can do our comic chat.
Yeah.
Every week there's nope, that's going to be next week. Nope, that's going to be next week. Just all down the list. It kind of sucks.
All that to say is it's not our fault. We will get the books when we get the books, but it's.
That's the thing. The shipping team, they are pretty much caught up with as far as they can go.
Yeah.
I mean, they stay caught up. It's definitely not us.
Yeah, they're just waiting on those books to get in. So, if you're waiting on your books, more than likely that's why. So,
yes.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Now that we're done with the news, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, our discussion topic for tonight is our best and worst Halloween costumes growing up or even as adults. So in the chat or in the comments on YouTube, what is your best Halloween costume that you remember? What is your worst Halloween costume that you remember? Why don't you go ahead and let us know? And when we come back, we're going to talk about ours. We'll see you in just a minute. All right, we are back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. So like I said, our discussion topic for tonight is your best and worst Halloween costumes. So I'll go ahead and start. We'll start with the best because it's not as funny as the worst. My best is probably and I say best because I think it was the best concept. Like when I thought of the idea in my head, it was probably the best outcome, right? So I was in 6th grade. It was right before I moved back to Amarillo from Colorado. We had moved up to Pueblo, Colorado for about a year and a half, and we were moving back. And at the time, so this would have been 1992. I was 11 years old. And at the time, a very popular cartoon was the Cowboys of Mu Mesa. I say very popular. It was very popular to me. Probably not very popular at all to anybody else, but it was the Cowboys of Mu Mesa. So there's these anthropomorphic, cowboy law enforcement, and it was like a sci-fi, kind of like Brave Star. Totally dumb.
But for I've never heard of
it. For whatever reason, I was infatuated with the Cowboys of Mu Mesa. So I told my mom I wanted to be a Cowboy of Mu Mesa. I don't think she had a clue what that was. So she just heard, I want to be a cowboy, right? Which worked. And finding like the cowboy get up was pretty easy.
Right.
There's not too much to it. So, and then I had like the straw Stetson is what I had, because she ain't going to buy me a felt Stetson to do this with. And she made like foam horns, and just like attached it to the band, so my horns were coming out, and then just basically painted my face like a cow, right? And she did a really good job, like from what I remember. It's been so freaking long ago, I don't remember. But like, and then I had my little badge and my guns, and I was a cowboy. I didn't do like hooves or anything, because I think they had hands in the cartoon. I mean, how else are you going to fire a 6-shooter with a hoof? I think you can. I think I had boots on too, and I don't think they wore. I'm literally. Hold on. I'm not gonna be able to put this on. Let's see here. Cowboys of Mu Mesa. Boom. Yeah, they had hooves on. They had normal hands, but not normal feet. Again, be consistent. So
they were essentially minotaurs.
Yes, they were. Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were gunslinging minotaurs. And there was like a scorpion dude. I remember this guy now. Yeah. Wow, it's been forever. But anyway, I was infatuated with Cowboys of Mu Mesa. I think that was one of my best costumes, top down. As I got a little bit older, kind of the best costume I did myself, as an adult-ish, I thought I was probably 19. It was, I did kind of like a dark Jedi Sith costume. That was pretty cool. It was kind of based off of Tales of the Jedi. And it was pretty fun. But those are kind of up there for my best. What about you?
So my best was also in the 6th grade. It was the year after Fellowship of the Ring came out.
Okay.
And I went as Elrond from the prequel scene during the last battle of the first.
Oh, okay. Okay. So when he's at the Gotcha.
So I had the Art of the Fellowship concept book.
Okay.
And then screenshots, and my grandma helped sew the costume together, and my grandpa helped me build make a wooden sword.
So did you do armor? Or what did you make armor?
We found some patterns that were armor, and then just used the metallic material. But
okay, so it was cloth still.
It was cloth.
Okay.
But we made it look as close to as we could.
Interesting. Did you wear a wig? Or did you have long hair at the time? Or did you just slick your hair back?
I don't remember that. I remember the costume itself, but I don't think I put a wig on. I think I just went with the hair I had. I don't remember.
Do you have pictures?
I bet someone has a picture.
You think Amanda's watching? She may have pictures somewhere.
You
wouldn't have known her back then.
Amanda doesn't, but my mom or grandma has pictures somewhere, because we worked hard on that.
If we find them, we'll have to put them on the
yeah.
We'll have to put them on the website. There is no pictures of me as Mu Mesa. There may be pictures of me as the Sith. I don't know. I remember we were working like a harvest festival thing at our church. Mm-hmm. We did like a whole thing, and I say that I remember that thing fell apart towards the end.
Oh yeah,
like I had that thing so ramshackled together. It looked great initially, it did not hold up throughout the night.
See, that's funny. Like going to conventions and seeing the cosplay repair people, just they walk around with cases full of thread and super glue and just anything you can think of.
Yeah, it's like taking super glue to a miniatures tournament.
Yeah,
It's gonna happen. It's gonna break. All right, moving on to. Was that your only like best, or do you have another?
that was probably my best. I threw some other stuff together. So I worked at Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Through college and end of high school, and working there, you had to dress up every weekend in October. And so I did like
it was mandatory.
It was mandatory.
I would fight that so hard, just for the fact that they said it was mandatory.
And then the week of Halloween, you had to do it every shift.
Ooh.
So I had lots of Halloween costumes. I did an undead Sweeney Todd one time. That was pretty cool.
Johnny Depp Sweeney Todd already looks pretty well undead.
We did it like at the end of the movie. I had like a scar on my neck and everything.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That was probably the most complicated one I did during that. We had to have so many costumes that you get to where you just buy costume T-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
It's good enough.
Yeah. That's crazy. I never had a job that. I don't know that I had jobs that even allowed me to dress up.
So when I worked there, like we sold a lot of costumes, so that was part of it. But I mean, you go there now and they don't have hardly any costumes or anything, so I don't know that it's still a thing.
Right. Okay. So worst. So one of my early worst ones, and any kid that grew up in the early 80s remembers this costume. You bought it from Walmart or Target or wherever, and literally it was a vinyl like jumpsuit that you just put over your normal clothes, right? It had like little things that went over your tennis shoes that looked like boots. And then you had that plastic mask that had like the little hole for your mouth, holes for your eyes, and just like the thinnest piece of elastic that went around.
Elastic string.
Yes, it was elastic string. So much humidity built up in the mask that it was almost guaranteed that 70% of the time that mask was up on the top of your head.
Especially here in Texas, I mean, it would condensate.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was miserable, and of course, Halloween's here in West Texas are pretty hit or miss. There you would have some good Halloween nights, but fall and spring in West Texas, it's either really hot, really cold, or really windy,
or all three.
Or combination. Hot and cold is kind of hard to do.
Not in West Texas. It's not
at one time. Quick succession, possibly. And so, yeah, you were never comfortable in those vinyl jumpsuit things. Like you were, for whatever reason, you get stupid hot in them. If it was any form of hot outside, or you'd be freezing inside of it. Like you were never like properly insulated inside those.
Apparently, it like blizzarded my first Halloween.
Oh, did it? I mean, that's not uncommon here. So one of those I had. I remember I had a Masters of the Universe one, a He-Man one year. Centurions. You probably don't even know what the crap the Centurions are. They were this cartoon. There were these toys that they were like, I don't know, 9-inch figures. Like, so they were bigger than kind of typical action figures. But they had all these sockets in their arms and in their chest. And so you would socket all these like armor pieces and weapons and stuff. And so like there was an Air Force dude that turned into like a jet guy. There's a submarine dude and a tank dude. And you just socketed all these parts onto them. Those are Centurions. And I think I had the tank, the land dudes set, and like literally it was just his mask and the jumpsuit was like him with the sockets. Like none of the other stuff that would come with it. Like it was totally phoned in, but you got it for like, $10 at Walmart or whatever. Couple of the costumes I did myself. These are both in high school because we would do Halloween parties for foreign language clubs and stuff like that. I went one year as the Crow. That was during my goth phase. That looked horrible. like I can look back. You know how time kind of glosses over things?
Yeah.
No, I can still see in my head how bad that costume was. I'm pretty sure I had like electrical tape like wrapped around me and stuff like that. And of course, she did the makeup and all that jazz. And I think I dyed my hair, but I didn't have long. I never had long hair.
Yeah.
I have never had long hair, but whatever. It looked cool to me. I think I might have worn a wig on that one. You know, like the party store wigs. Speaking of that, like either might have been the year before or the next, I went as, and we talked about this when I talked about Dragonlance a few weeks ago. One of the D&D settings that I'd read all the novels and stuff to. There was a character named Raceland, and he's like a wizard. And I wanted to go as him. So I found this whitish silver wig. I just, I looked like a cross-dresser. I looked like a cross-dressing grandma. It was just so not good in any way, form, or fashion. Those are probably my worst by far. Yeah.
So I had one of the Walmart costumes is the Black Power Ranger with the mask and all that.
Yeah.
And then I remember going as there's always some sort of generic ninja costume that you can buy at Walmart.
Yeah. That's
supposed to be Scorpion or Sub-Zero, but it's just a ninja.
Yeah.
I did that one year.
The Please Don't Sue Us Ninja.
My worst costume, though, was a Hot Topic costume. And we did a themed weekend and did hair metal.
Okay.
And I had these zebra print, basically tights.
Oh no.
And I had my cut off Motley Crue t-shirt and all kinds of Aerosmith scarves, and I did put on a wig for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, you got, I mean, if it's hair metal, you got to have the hair to go with it.
So that one was glorious.
But that sounds like a good costume, not a miserably bad costume.
It just depends on how many dudes in zebra tights you want to look at.
Depends on how revealing you are. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's true. Well, cool. That was fun. So we did that. Of course, it's Halloween. This will be our last podcast before Halloween.
Yeah.
So we decided we'd kind of indulge the Halloween thing. So we hope everybody has a safe and happy Halloween this year, whatever you end up deciding to do or deciding to dress up. I will say that now. So since then, probably since early college, I haven't done a Halloween costume.
I don't like dressing up.
Yeah. Which is funny because you used to do cosplay.
That's probably why I don't like it anymore, because it was such a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I almost did a Fat Thor this year. I almost did Hobo Peter Parker, but I settled on Where's Waldo because it was just a t-shirt and a hat.
Yeah, we've taken our kiddos, trick or treating or to trunk or treats or harvest festivals and stuff like that. We've never dressed up or anything. We'll get them all cute and dressed up, but no, not me. I'm a whole lot of nerd. Cosplay is not in. And to me, that the Halloween is when everybody cosplays, right?
Right.
So
we almost got everybody together to do the Belchers.
Yeah, we have the count for it in our house to do the Belchers. We have and it's age order and everything.
Yeah,
it's perfect. I mean, there's a pretty big gap between oldest daughter and son, but I mean, literally, all we got to do is, I think RJ, I think she would wear the ears.
Oh yeah.
And Matei and MJ, he would just need a yellow t-shirt.
Yeah.
And then boom, he's already got black hair. I would just need black stuff. I definitely have the Belcher bod for sure. And then my wife, we talked about it. We're not going to do it in any way, form, or fashion. So there will never be any pictures of us as the Belchers, but anyway, so guys, like I said, in the comments, why don't you tell us what your best and worst Halloween costumes in history are, or ones you've seen, and you just
have you seen pictures of old costumes they're creepy.
Yeah,
they're way creepy.
From the 20s and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think the film helps.
The film definitely helps. I'm like, wow, you people actually dressed up your kids as serial murderers. That's creepy, man.
We don't even know what serial murderers are anymore. We don't live past 40 anyway. What does it matter? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us for the Unknown Comics podcast. Of course, like I said, if you're listening, if you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on your favorite podcast app, don't forget you can join us every Thursday night at 7 Central, live at twitch.tv/unknowncomicbooks. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.